Hello and welcome to coverage of the Cheap Thrills 2016 Netrunner Store Championships. This is game 2 of round 2. Simon Johnson on the left playing Iain Stirling versus Tomas Seymour Turner on the right playing Gagarin. We just saw actually a similar matchup just now with Simon playing Gagarin versus Tomas's Nazir. Simon just able to grind out the win in that one. Swapping sides now, so Tomas also playing Gagarin. We saw Simon playing a real grindy, just wearing down the runner's economy horizontal deck. I'm not sure if Tomas is playing something similar, or if Tomas is possibly on the sort of more traditional Gagarin kill strategy. Simon playing Iain Stirling. Simon, affectionately known in some Netrunner circles as that Iain Stirling guy. Has taken Iain Stirling to a few tournaments, done really well actually. Took part in the Brighton Store Championships where he just narrowly missed the cup playing Iain Stirling. So there's a HQ interface there. Runs in no res from Tomas. So is that an Expo grid, I think? Which, yes, Simon's going to let to trash that, and that is another Expo grid. So Tomas was playing hedge fund there to go up to 9 credits. Click 2, draw with Jackson, and for his final click, ice on something. No, okay. Remote goes down, so that's Simon's turn. Takes a credit, Dirty Laundry into R&D. So that temporarily leaves the run onto it. Okay, so there's Simon's actually the judge and TO for this tournament as well, so I believe there's a rules question just coming from another table quickly, hence the both of these players looking away. Okay, yeah, so Simon's finished being a judge, he's seen the top card R&D, and the run ends and he gains 5 credits from the Dirty Laundry. Okay, so no res of that remote. Tomas takes his mandatory draw. Remote ice and another hedge fund. Takes up to 13 credits now versus Simon's 5. As long as R&D's open, Simon's going to check it at some point this turn just to see what's there. Maybe pinch an agenda. So click 1's draw. That's an R&D interface there, so an install of that and a run on R&D could be quite tempting, yeah. Down to 1 credit, but it does mean he's going to run R&D now, see 2 cards. So that's a Futurist now, and that's a GFI. Wow. Simon wins again, sees a Futurist now. Oh wow, and a Project Atlas. So that's 6 agenda points scored by Simon that turn. Tomas reses a public spot. Tomas just joking there that he probably should have shuffled his deck better after his last round. Yeah, always really awkward when you see a pile of agendas in a row. It does make you wonder if maybe the court player has shuffled the deck properly. But at this point, not really a lot you can do. And ice goes down R&D pretty swiftly there. What a punishing turn by Simon. The one downside, if there can be a downside for Simon, is that his ID ability has been absolutely useless this game. It never triggered, and it now never will at this point unless he happens to lose some agenda points somehow. Maybe a news team or a data dealer, but that doesn't seem likely. So yeah, Tomas is going to have a real grind on his hands if he can try and get back into this game. This is going to be tough work. Yeah, Simon's taking 3 credits and installing a full guy. He's 6 points up now. Simon's in no rush. He can sit back here and consolidate somewhat. I tell you like that, it's so exciting to watch a Netrunner game. Completely just, this game was just starting out, building up to whatever both players' strategies are going to be, and all of a sudden now we're on an extreme game point where just any single access can be game over for Tomas. And it's a real test as well as a corporation player in this sort of situation, because you need to try and find a way to get back into the game, but you can never afford to make a mistake. You have to know any agenda you install is safe and the runner can't get to. You need to keep protecting your centrals, especially your R&D, where you don't have a lot of control over what's there. You can start getting flooded in HQ as you're trying to play out this situation. Agendas can build up in HQ. You need to be able to protect that and have an answer for that. And yeah, Tomas, looking at all his cards, seeing all the wrong cards, possibly just a little flustered by what's happened here. Coming into a store championship, I believe Tomas swept his first round. He had 2 wins. Obviously, he had that really nasty grind hit Simon just now. Now he's just gone down 6 points, and it's probably going to tilt you somewhat. Tomas with a nervous laugh there. So there's a toll booth res. That is going to make it tough for Simon to get in. Playing Iain Stirling, so his code-gate option is likely Peacock, which is not great at all against toll booth. Off the top of my head, if you include the free credit tax toll booth provides, it's like something like 9 credits to deal with, I believe. Tomas just saying that rather than speeding up for the time of the round, he needs to slow down a little. I think Simon's probably extremely happy if Tomas does decide to slow down. Okay, so he's put an upgrade on that pad. I'm guessing that upgrade's going to be the 3rd Expo grid. We already saw 2. Oh no, it could be the 2nd. We saw 2. Simon trashed 1, couldn't trash the 2nd on turn 1. So that's almost certainly actually got to be the 2nd Expo grid. Expo grid is an upgrade which, as long as an asset's installed in the same server each turn, it generates a credit. It essentially turns a pad into 2 credits per turn rather than 1. So Simon runs in, kills the launch campaign, takes 2 credits. Yeah, so there's the Expo grid there from Tomas. No res of that asset at the end. Has Tomas been sneaky and put out an agenda? I don't. You'd have to be ballsy to do it in this situation. Putting out an agenda sort of naked in one of these horizontal decks, it's, you know, almost par for the course. It's worth doing at times if runners aren't going to check everything. In this situation, to do it it's a really ballsy move. Unless it's an NAPD, of course. Okay, so Simon hostage. No, it could be a film critic, or okay, it's gonna be a Katie Jones. Put some money on there. So launch campaign is rezzed. That's gonna bring in 2 credits, as well as a 2 from the pad and Expo server. So Tomas has got money. He's got 2 ice on that remote, which is presumably going to be a storeroom remote. Simon with no breakers. We can see an Aurora in hand. The question now is, at what point does Tomas start feeling ballsy enough to try and go for a score? Criminals obviously have access to special orders, so Simon can always run in, see something, then go back to special order for an answer. Although with 2 pieces of face down ice, that is going to be tough to do. See, if I'm Thomas, I think I'd be willing to possibly install an agenda naked. Simon hasn't been running unresed remotes so far. Just putting one out and scoring scoring like a Project Atlas that way will pull Thomas up to 3 points and just possibly force Simon into having to run naked remotes, just to slow him down, tax him out. Oh, he has put something in that. So there's a data dealer. So we could actually see Simon sell off a ton of agendas to either fund runs or to actually get his in some kind of weird desperation move. He could do it to generate money and get his ID to fire. Or you can go for the classic Iain Stirling play of data dealing all of the agendas away so that the corporation cannot score out, which is always fun for the runner and not the corporation player. Yep, 3 advances as Project Atlas. Tomas did res the team sponsorship that turn, puts a card into the scoring right. And if that is an agenda, all of a sudden we've got a game in our hands, because Simon likely hasn't got a way in this turn. I mean, an inside job could help, but he still would have to have a way for that second ice. So he's passing the turn back. There's a ton of money coming in for Tomas here. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 credits coming in this turn. Please triple advance that card, and then we've got a real game in our hands. Okay, if that's an agenda, Tomas would have scored it, surely. So, it's an Ash, possibly. Maybe even a Caprice, if he's played. I don't know. I'm not sure what Thomas's influence spend is. We see a team sponsorship. We've seen Jackson. Obviously, we've seen the toll booth. I'm not sure what other instances we've seen off the top of my head. Okay. Install an ice, install a card, and take a credit. That's got to be a score play. So what is Simon's play here? The source and film critic is a very solid play in this situation, because now, especially with the full guy out, that's just saying even if that is a 3 for 2 in that server, Tomas, good luck scoring it this turn. Just slows the corporation down, allows Simon to just prevent Tomas from being able to rush out behind these 3 pieces of ice using the team sponsorship installs. Okay, single advance. So that's got to be another Project Atlas. Interns. Yeah, interns for Expo Grid, which is going on our second pad. So just getting all the value out of those pad campaigns now. Pad Expo Grid, actually a pretty nice combo. I haven't actually seen it used a lot. Okay, so there's the Peacock. So 7 credits to break that. Access 2 cards. Yeah, so both cards stay where they were. Simon's got 1 click remaining. Okay, pass the turn. The Expo Grid comes online, so 4 credits coming in for Thomas's turn. We're going to see a triple advance. Yeah, triple advance, that's got to be another Atlas. So we do have a game going now. Both players are on game point and can score out from here. It's Simon Fall Guys to keep the source in place. That is going to make the threat for Tomas to score out just a little harder. And all of a sudden, what looked like could be a real runaway success for Simon has just swung back around to the point where either player could take it at this point. possibly might even favour Tomas in this situation. Simon has got a way. Simon did have a way into R&D to get access to cards, rather expensively, but that has now at least been threatened by a second piece of ice. And yeah, as I say, oddly, compared to where we were sort of 5 or 6 minutes ago in this game, we now possibly would favour Tomas in this position. He's got a nice economic advantage. He's got the ice protecting that scoring server. He's got 4 credits coming in per turn. He's got the Mumba Temples for further economics. So click 1 as a Jackson. I think Tomas is just going to draw for an agenda. Installs and hedge funds. So if it's a 3 for 2, it's got to sit there for an extra turn. So probably not the agenda, I wouldn't have thought. Although I guess the agenda is actually safer in that scoring mode than it is in HQ. So maybe Tomas is happy to put it there for the extra turn. So the single ice on HQ versus the 3 on that scoring remote. There's a gang sign, just in case that... Okay, so I guess the gang sign was just in case that was a hostile takeover that Tomas might have put down there. So Tomas could even win off public supports, actually. He can just leave that there to tick down and then put a second in there as well afterwards. Although an agenda score would certainly be quick. I think that was an Oaktown renovation in hand. I actually think Oaktown into the score remote and 2 advances is probably the correct play in this situation. Tomas whoever goes remote, upgrade on R&D. So the upgrade on R&D, that could be an Ash. Again, it could be a Caprice. Caprice isn't something you really see in Gagarin decks, but I'm just trying to think what else could be. A Chrysium doesn't really seem to make sense in this situation. Could even be something really out there like a Marcus Batty, but again, not something I'd expect to see there. Ash, I think, is the most likely answer. What a game this has turned into, actually. I do like Gagarin decks. I play a ton of Gagarin decks myself, but they don't always make for the most exciting of games. They can be really grindy, really punishing for the runner. And I did worry having 2 Gagarin games in a row might be a bit samey, but instead we've seen a hell of a game here with both players really just either one could take it at this point. And these are the best kind of Netrunner games. These are the games that make it really exciting to watch. Any single access could end the game in Simon's favour. An install and a force-driven agenda can end it for Tomas. I mean, this is what we played the game for. I hope Tomas has been really ballsy. Maybe the remote that he's put down there is actually the 2-for-1 hostile takeover. That would be ballsy with the public support. Simon accesses a Jackson and a piece of ice I couldn't quite see. Those are out of HQ. Yeah, so there's the Aurora. Criminal breakers really are bad, aren't they? Okay, so it's another pad was the remote. Tomas just checking his archives. So click 1 is Jackson. Two is another new remote. 3 is another piece of ice on R&D. So it doesn't look there's many cards left in that R&D at this point. Tomas would probably love to see an agenda at this point. Simon would definitely love to see an agenda. There's 5 minutes remaining in the round. Actually, it's just been called as well. We could totally see this game actually go to a timed draw, which would actually be really disappointing because both players have put on such an interesting game for us to watch it. It'd be a shame in a way to see it end on a timed draw. We really do want to see a definitive result to this game. And as I was saying, I mean, 10 minutes ago, who would have expected us to be in a position where Tomas here was possibly set to score out and win after Simon's incredible R&D dig turn. Checking out Umo, it's a Jackson. Simon's not going to do anything with that. Tomas has got his money coming in. Public support is scored, so we are even now. Tomas is going to go for it. Put that Oaktown down. Yeah, there's the Oaktown. 2 advancements. I love that play. I still think Tomas should have done that a few turns ago when it was in his hand instead of the public support personally. But he's going to go for it. So Simon is going to empty Catty Jones. Oh, this is going to be a really exciting finish to the game. I do like this. So has Simon got a Sentry Breaker? If he does, this is interesting. We've got a Fem. Now, where is the Fem going to go? That is the really interesting question. If Simon can get this right, this could win him the game. He can also Data Dealer. He can Data Dealer away while the future is now, just to get another 9 credits, because the 2 points will still win him the game, even if he goes back down to 5. Oh, this is brilliant. Okay, so the Fem goes on the middle piece of ice. Yep, Simon Data Dealers, the future is now. 14 credits to get into that server versus 41. Oh no, if Tomas is running an Ash now, this is going to be heartbreaking for Simon. What is that upgrade? Right. This is brilliant. I love this. Okay, we've got a Vikram 1.0. So that's going to be 6 to match strength. Breaking the subroutine doesn't let him use other programs. There's letting the traces fire. Yeah, both players are just going to let those traces go through. There's a tour guide. Yeah, Simon says he's femmed the wrong thing, and he's kind of correct there, because femming it, dealing with tour guide with fem is the same as dealing with anything else. That Simon broke. Yeah, and there's the Merimati, which will keep him out. What a finish that game. And time was called on Simon's turn, which means Tomas is going to get to score out that Oaktown just to finish the game and win. What a fantastic game there, actually. Kudos to both players. Simon for almost pulling it back after Tomas had got back in control, and for Tomas for... Tomas could have easily collapsed after that 6-point turn of Simon's, but he managed to just settle himself down, get back into his own rhythm, and just pull the game back into his favour. That was one of my favourite games I think we've had on the channel, actually, in some time. So a split that round with both games going to Gagarin. We'll be back very soon with some coverage of round 3.